Hi friends, my name is Jack and this is the first video in a video series that will hopefully improve your game experience within the cycle. Today's video will explain the many different ways in which players can earn VP or victory points within the cycle. If you are unfamiliar with what the cycle is, you might want to check out my other video that talks in general terms about the cycle and what it is. Otherwise, continue watching and we'll get straight into it. Hey, that's me! Most of us know or quickly figure out that the man or woman or group with the most victory points and evacuates is the winner of a game in the cycle. But what and how you earn victory points isn't completely made clear through the tutorial and even some of the other learning resources they have. I'll be going through every single method that rewards you with victory points of some sort. Contracts are the name that the cycle gives to its missions or tasks that rewards you victory points. Completing these contracts rewards you with victory points. As you complete these contracts, the amount of work you need to do to complete that specific contract again increases, as does the reward for completion. I've personally divided these types of contracts into 4 different categories: active, passive, special, and other. Active contracts are what you will spend most of your time doing. These could be resources you gather, or waves of enemies you defeat, or something else. You need to actively be there to ensure you earn your VP. Passive contracts are things that once you've done something to activate or start them, you can leave them in the background and they will generate VP for you while you do one of the other categories of contracts, assuming nothing interferes with it. Special contracts typically only occur once a game, and they can earn you large amounts of points, cementing your lead or helping you get back into the game. Most, if not all, are very important to capitalize on. And finally, other contracts are things you find around the map that are random. They just are items or tasks that you find that hand out VP. Now that we know what the types of contracts are, let's go one by one and break them down. Starting with passive contracts. These can be pretty straightforward, but we'll just cover our bases and we'll go over them. The first one is an uplink contract. There are 3 locations that an uplink can spawn in on. An uplink will spawn in 1820 with 340 seconds. There are 3 statuses the uplink can have: active, next uplink, which is where the next uplink will be, and inactive. To capture an active uplink, just stand in the area surrounding it. After a short time, you'll capture it and start to earn VP. You can leave it and it will continue to earn points for you. However, other prospectors can come and capture it from you, earning points for them. When 2 prospectors are in the zone, it becomes contested and nothing changes until one prospector leaves the zone. But points will still be generated for whoever had complete control over the uplink last if it is contested. This also applies if there are 2 prospectors and neither of them are the original owner but are still fighting over the uplink inside the uplink zone. Moving on to Zeal Crystals. These yellow orange-like crystals, once equipped, generate VP passively as you do other things. They do reveal your location on the map to all other players, so please be careful. Taking damage drops the shard, and it doesn't take much damage at all for that to happen, whether it be from players or mobs. Other players can steal your Zeal Crystal if they knock it off you and interact with it. Eventually, a special red Zeal will appear on the map, but we'll talk about that later in the special section. And finally, the last passive is gas. Putting gas refiners on top of unrefined lithium gas holes will slowly generate gas for you. The refiners generate 0.2 gas a second at level 1, and over time they will level up to 0.5 at level 2, and 1 gas a second at level 3, which is the max level. Typically, there's a section of the map that 9 of them or so are clustered together, as opposed to being spread out like most are. Refiners can be destroyed or taken over by other prospectors. These passive contracts are things you want to focus on early so you can maximize your points over time. Moving on to active contracts, and like I said, these are things that you'll be spending most of your time doing to earn VP. The first active contract we'll talk about is minerals. There will always be minerals in every game. You lay down a drill and you must defend it in front of enemies. The difficulty of enemies, the number of waves, and the amount of reward depends on the size of the mineral deposit. The different difficulties are easy for 100, medium for 200, hard for 400, very hard for 600, and extreme for 1000. There are only 2 extreme minerals on the map, and they're shown on the map by these big giant white rocks. These rocks are also referred to as the 1K by other players. The drill can be destroyed by mobs. Minerals after completion can be taken by other prospectors, so make sure to defend not only the drill, but also your minerals from being taken. The next contract is hunts. To start a hunt contract, you need to go to an area signified with an orange circle on the map to hunt down a little bit stronger creatures to collect their biomass to complete this contract. The difficulty of these creatures is shown by the number of stars, ranging from 1 to 4. Different colored material gives more or less biomass towards your contract. Colors from least valuable to most would be green, blue, purple, then orange. Other players can steal your biomass even after you kill the creature it belonged to. So again, protect what's yours. This contract will also eventually generate the special event Warden Alpha, which we'll talk about later in special contracts. The next event is mushrooms. Collect mushrooms found randomly throughout the map or in specified mushroom quote-unquote farms. Blast ticks will live near the mushrooms and will spawn often enough to be annoying when a player holds on to mushrooms. The more mushrooms equal more frequent spawning of blast ticks. Mushroom farms have a howler that will summon more blast ticks to defend its farm. When holding mushrooms, you have a trail of particles that gets bigger the more mushrooms you have. You can drop your mushroom canister if you take enough damage. This canister contains all the mushrooms you've collected if you haven't deposited any. To be honest, it takes quite a bit of damage to drop it, but nonetheless, other players can steal your canister once you've dropped it. So defend that canister, because otherwise you would just have wasted a lot of time. To deposit your mushrooms, take it to a mushroom deposit station. The map icon for it will change from static to enlarging and shrinking, signifying that a player is currently there depositing mushrooms. Blast ticks will also spawn while you deposit. Next is power stations. You need to find and activate 3 different consoles that are attached to the main generator, and then turn the main generator on. These consoles are covered in plant life that needs to be destroyed before you can interact with them. Anytime you activate a console, it will spawn robots to attack you. The main generator will have white lines that go off in different directions to lead you to the consoles if you're struggling to find them. You only get VP from activating the main generator. Other players can steal your VP from you by activating the main generator even if you did all the consoles yourself, so be aware of who's around you. This will also eventually start the special event Central Power Station, after enough regular power stations are powered, and again, we'll talk about this in the special section. The next contract will be drones. 3 to 4 drones will be out on the ground and you need to be interacted with to be put back into the drone carrier. As you arrive in the area, not after you've started the contract, but as you arrive in the area, mobs will spawn to destroy these drones. If you've saved all the drones from the mobs, you can then go complete the drone carrier launch sequence for more VP. You have to put all the drones away. If the mobs manage to destroy 1 or more drones, you will not be able to initiate the launch sequence. During the launch sequence of a drone carrier, waves of enemies will spawn to destroy the drone carrier, as well as other players will be alerted and have the opportunity to also destroy the drone carrier. So defend the drone launch sequence. The final active contract is the drill. The drill is only available for duos or squads. It is never an available contract for solos. Once the drill lands, you need to activate it by interacting with the control panel on the second floor. You then defend the drill from oncoming waves of enemies and possibly other players. Other players can steal your drill by interacting with the control panel on the second floor as it drills, even if you got there first. It is also possible to ride the drill when it changes to a different location as it rises up into the air and flies to its next location. Moving on now to special events, and like I said, these are things that happen once a match, maybe twice if certain circumstances are met. We're going to start with central stations. After activating enough generators at the regular power stations, a central station will be able to be activated in the center of the map. You activate the central station the same way you would a regular station, but to earn VP, you need to stand within the giant circle that is in the center of the map once you've activated the central station's main generator. Waves of robots will continue to spawn inside the VP earning circle until the event is over. It is not necessary to kill them to earn your VP. Up next will be the cycle spike. The cycle spike happens towards the middle of most games, causing a large area of the map to become much more dangerous. Every few seconds, lightning will strike the ground where players stand, causing significant damage. Inside the cycle spike are crystals that the players can gather for VP. The bigger the crystal, the more points towards VP. Small crystals are worth 100, medium 250, and the biggest 500. Next is the Warden Alpha contract. As a collective group, all the prospectors in one game, after completing 10,000 points worth of hunt contract points, a Warden Alpha will spawn. This is an extremely tanky bullet sponge surrounded by other creatures. You will earn VP for doing 25% HP damage to the Warden Alpha and only the Warden Alpha. The other mobs surrounding do not contribute towards VP gain. This prospector who deals the killing blow to the Warden Alpha will also be awarded an additional 25 VP. The Red Zeal. The Red Zeal functions the same way as a regular Zeal, except that you get a bonus 40 VP if you evacuate with the Red Zeal equipped. Now moving on to other contracts. Other contracts are things that you happen to stumble upon or find. These are not things that will naturally appear on your map, nor things you should search for to earn consistent VP. The first one is egg delivery. A higher pitched white noise sound, that's the best way I can describe it, will sound like it's near you. Find the origin of the sound to grab a neon green egg. This egg can be brought to a delivery station for VP. Once you pick up the egg, the delivery station icons will appear on the map, similar to a delivery cardboard box. Tracking blue runner nests. A purple track will appear on the ground. Interacting with the track will allow more tracks to appear, which you can follow to a small nest-looking thing with an egg in it. Collect the egg, and it gives you VP. Retrieving research data. Some buildings have random consoles in them and their screens will be purple. Finding 3 of these consoles throughout the map will net you VP. Finally, PvP. PvP, or player versus player, per life you take, as every player has 2, will earn you 10 VP. And that finishes up all the ways you can earn VP. Hopefully this helped you discover other ways to improve your score in-game or fully understand the current contracts. If you're looking for more advanced tips on how to make the most of your contracts, please watch part 2 where I go in depth on ways to be more efficient with your contracts on Fortuna 3. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, like the video, and if you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If you have any questions, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my live stream at twitch.tv/Jackachino with an extra O, or in the next video. Thank you again, please be safe, and please be kind to others.